Go to NBC News senior medical correspondent Dr. John Torres. Dr. John, this is a stunning announcement. It was only a few weeks ago we were hearing about wearing masks outside. What's your takeaway of the shift that allowed them to make this announcement?
And Lester, you're right. This is a stunning announcement, and I think it caught a lot of us by off guard to a certain extent because we knew this was coming with the science, but we didn't know it was coming quite so soon. And I think part of this is they're responding to the science. They're responding to other public health experts saying, wait a minute, we know that outdoors, particularly if you're vaccinated, more importantly, then you don't spread the virus. And they brought up a couple of good points, or Dr. Walensky did. She said, number one, we want to make sure that you understand these vaccines are effective, and they're particularly effective against the variants as well. And that's something we're now finding out. Plus, one important point she put in there is we also know now that the transmission rate, if you're fully vaccinated, the risk is very low, and that's an important part to taking the masks off. And so she said essentially that they want to make sure that people understand that because the vaccine rates are high, that's why we're able to take these masks off. At the same time, she did specifically say for certain people, immunocompromised people, people who are unvaccinated, then it could be a different story, particularly unvaccinated people. They need to keep wearing the masks. And if you get sick and have symptoms, you need to put your mask back on. And also warned us to a certain extent what we're seeing in other parts of the world, that if cases start to go up, then we might need to put masks back on. But this is good news, Lester, because we're finally starting to see sort of essentially the rewards behind our efforts. And that's what one thing that Dr. Slavic or Andy Slavic was saying, that we put a lot of effort into this. It's time to start seeing the rewards from this. And I think that's what we're seeing at this point, Lester.
Yeah, another headline from here. We don't want to ignore this. She also said that unvaccinated people remain at risk of illness, death, and of spreading the disease. So this good news message today going out to those who have been fully vaccinated. And Dr. John, before I let you go, this all sounds really interesting, but in real world, when you're sitting in a restaurant or you're sitting in a crowded space and someone's not wearing a mask, you don't know if they're fully vaccinated. So what are the implications socially now as we go forward and try to incorporate this in our lives?
And Lester, you're correct that we don't know if somebody's vaccinated just by looking at them. So when you're in a situation like that, you might want to err on the side of keeping yourself safe. If you're vaccinated, well, it's a different story. And like you mentioned, unvaccinated, you definitely want to wear the masks. But also remember, these are CDC guidelines. The states and the counties are going to issue their own guidelines. And as of now, they really haven't changed them. So your state or county might have different guidelines. They might still want you to wear masks until they catch up to what the CDC is saying. But again, this is great news because it's showing that number one, that the transmission rate and the infection rate with people who are fully vaccinated is low. We're getting more people vaccinated so we can start doing more things, Lester.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.